right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you do whenever you have a tenant in your property that just takes off? I'm dealing with it right now. I had a lady, her lease ended, she wouldn't leave. I went through the eviction proceedings. I won the eviction and she appealed it. And we were waiting for the appeal court, which is coming up here in a week or so. But I drove by the property the other day, noticed that she is gone. Now, the problem with this, guys, sometimes people leave in the middle of a lease. Sometimes people drag things out, like this situation right here. Sometimes, you stop getting rent, you go over there, nobody's there. So this is what we consider an abandoned property. They have abandoned their right to it, but you can't just go in there and take over. There are still steps that you need to do. So, for example, on my particular case that I'm telling you about that I'm going to court next week. Yes, I won the eviction court, but the minute she appealed it, it kind of nullifies that first eviction. So I still have to go to court to make sure that my paperwork is in order and that I have a court documented signed eviction. I need to make sure I have that because if she ever comes back for whatever reason and starts squatting again, we have to start the whole process over. I can't just have her just straight up thrown out. So now that she's gone, I have to provide something called a notice of abandonment. And this is from Texas Association of Realtors, the TAR website. I have shot a video about this, guys. What you're going to do is you're going to go to texasrealestate.com, click on Realtor Members, Legal, because we're doing forms, blank downloadable forms, and it's in here of abandonment. So it's right here, guys, and we download this form. I'm going to walk you through it real quick because it's super easy. To the tenant from the landlord. By the way, guys, the landlord is either the property owner or if they have a property management company, you can put it in here. Lease concerning the property at, fill in the address. Because the tenant has failed to pay rent, which is usually your indicator, guys. If they have left, then that means they haven't paid rent. That's when you notice. In the landlord's reasonable judgment, tenant and all occupants have vacated the property. Like I said, guys, I went by what gave that away to me. There's a lot of like random furniture on the front yard. The windows, the blinds were all left open. I was able to see into the property. There was nothing there. She's been unresponsive to phone calls and emails because we're in the middle of court, which is fine. But the property looks vacant to me, and I'm using reasonable judgment. Guys, if it is completely locked up or something like that, and you know they're in there, great. Sometimes you can even use this like to make sure that they're in there as well. So if you look at this one, so Section A, I'm assuming that I'm considering it abandoned. This is my property, so I can do that. The tenant has notified the landlord. The tenant must notify the landlord has not been abandoned by. You have, what I always check is this one. You got 2 days, and you cannot insert a date earlier than 2 days from the date of this notice. Okay, so within 2 days of the date of this notice, or you can say by the end of the week or whatever it is. So I'm going to check this first box. She's got 2 days. So if I place it today, which today, by the way, is a Thursday, it's Friday, then Saturday will be the second day. Then I can go in there and I can take possession of the property on Sunday. So we got to make sure we're doing that, or make sure you're following those rules. Section C, in addition to any other remedies provided by law, failure to respond to the affixed notice by the time required, authorize the landlords to dispose of personal property. Guys, you do not want to get into this tit for tat over whose property is what. So you want this form here because it very clearly states, I am throwing away whatever you left here. I can give it to a charitable organization. I can store and sell any personal property should I want to. And the tenant must reimburse the landlord and all landlord's reasonable costs in connected with packing, removing, storing, and selling of any personal property left in this. This right here is extremely important because I go to court, I think, next Thursday. So I want this abandoned property thing up here because if on Monday, I'm going to have my guys clean this out, I'm going to get a bill for it, and I'm going to tack this onto what she owes me. So that way I have a court record showing, hey, not only do you owe me 3 months of back rent, but you also owe me another couple $100 for having to clean out all your crap that you left. To be honest with you, I get this question a lot. Do you ever recover any of that? No, not typically. But should she ever try to buy a house or something like that, eventually I'll get my money. Then you sign it or sign for the landlord under written property management agreement. Again, like I said, if there's property manager, they can act as landlord. Means of delivery. So affixed to the inside of the main door entry on by so-and-so, right? So I'm going to say on whatever today is, February or something. And by Colin Corrington, and or affixed to the outside of the main entry door because the entry was prevented. If the door is locked, if there's anything like that, if there's crap everywhere, I don't necessarily have to go inside. It is preventing me from getting into the house. And I actually bought this property with her in place, and I never got the key. So I can't get in unless I drill the locks, which I'm not authorized to do. So I'm going to fix this on the outside because the entry was prevented. And the second, and if you can do both of those, guys, please do. You have to do, if you can do both, if you can get into it for whatever reason. I had a property a while back that the lock was busted and all this. So I stuck one on the front and on the back of the door. So that way I had both of them covered. Take pictures of them. Grab your phone, take a picture, get a folder on your phone for it, because it will timestamp it at the time that you took the picture. It will show that how it's affixed. By the way, don't use a single piece of Scotch tape. I always use packing tape, and I tape the top and the bottom. I tape the hell out of it because I don't want them to say, oh, it fell off or anything like that. And if you take a picture of it, you have evidence with a timestamp that shows how it was affixed and when. So it's really easy to do a notice of abandonment, and then you just wait your 2 days, and then you go take the property back. One more time, guys, if you are in this situation, you are probably somewhere in the middle of an eviction. Do not assume that this counts as an eviction. You still want to go to court. This is just my opinion, guys. Talk to a lawyer, but I have never had anybody ever tell me otherwise. Like, if you are in the middle of eviction, go ahead and finish the eviction. Go ahead and get the judgment. You've already paid the $160 whatever to file it, so you might as well just go to court for that hour or whatever it is and get the paperwork showing, because if they come back, it's going to bite you in the butt. Or if they have not truly abandoned it. I'm going to put this on here, and if she calls me tomorrow, fine. At least I tried. We're still going to go to court on the 17th. So, notice of abandonment, super easy to do, but very, very important. And again, that is a TAR document. So make sure you go to the TAR website and find a nice blank one.